Welcome back to Studio K. I'm sitting here with the members of Jonny Darko. How are you guys feeling after that crazy performance?
Great, feeling good.
Yeah, really good. Totally awesome. First things first, can I have you all introduce yourselves and what role you play in this group?
I'm Benji. I'm the DJ.
Cool.
I'm Johnny. I'm the singer.
I'm also Johnny. I play guitar.
I'm Baron. I play drums.
Awesome.
That's us.
That's Jonny Darko right there. Cool. So all 4 songs that you played today are off of your latest release, Not Again. Is that correct?
Yes, they are.
Very cool. So we started with Greyhound, went into American Idols, The Garden, and then Sour Patch. This album to me feels very emotionally charged. There's a lot of heavy topics in it. Can you explain kind of where you were at when you were writing the songs for this album?
Yeah, I mean, that's a good question. I feel like a lot of times I kind of figure out what I was feeling in the past
Right.
while I'm writing. So a lot of times it's kind of a confusing process. It's kind of just comes out of me, and then I'm like, oh, maybe I was feeling that way. Maybe this song is about that thing that happened like a year ago.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of different stuff. I feel like lightning struck at some point, and it just kind of came out of me.
Yeah, for sure. Is this one of those albums that was created in a short time window, or was it over a lot of time?
Yeah, about 6 months.
Okay, very cool. And I'm curious to know, is Jonny Darko a persona? Is it separate from who you are in real life?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
I mean, there's definitely some separation there, although a lot of, the stuff that I write about is typically stuff from my life, stuff that I'm thinking about, etc. But it's nice to have a little bit of a front to kind of shield some of my emotional insecurities
Sure.
from time to time.
So Johnny is shining through Jonny Darko. You use Jonny Darko kind of express some things.
I would say so, yes.
Okay.
And I would say Johnny, the real guy, is a lot more chill and normal and boring than Jonny Darko.
Okay, cool. Nice. Awesome. Well, so along with the music in this album, you released a whole bunch of music videos and a magazine. Can you tell me about the idea behind this multimedia project, why you wanted to do so much with this one?
Yeah, that's a good question. I feel like I tend to start something bigger than I expect, and then I can't not see it through the end. So it started off as kind of a simple idea, but the basic concept was to create something that could accompany the album that would be like a tangible, physical thing that people could kind of hold on to.
Yeah.
I'm just getting sick of the streaming era where it's all little boxes on my screen, So that's where the magazine came from. As far as the videos, I wanted to do a listening party, and I didn't want to just play the music without anything being shown.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of where the whole idea for all the videos came from.
Totally. So I was at that listening party. It was fantastic. Can you tell me about the process of recording or videotaping all of those? Like, where did you go, and what was that like for you?
Yeah, it was great. Me and Johnny Hall here and our other good friend Mike, we took a little trip out to the Badlands and just kind of without a plan, we just kind of shot whatever felt good, whatever looked good, and we just had a ton of footage that we came back with, and then I took that into the lab, I guess, and just edited it into the ground.
Yeah, totally.
It kind of ended up being, without the lyrics and everything, it sort of just looked like this long, like weird fashion commercial. It's just me like walking around in various like scenic landscapes, not really doing anything.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, it came together. I'm happy with how it turned out.
Yeah, definitely. I thought it was really, really cool. So on one of the songs in this album, you collaborated with Reiki, local artist.
Reiki.
Can you tell me about what that was like, making music with him?
Yeah, he's one of the best. I mean, he always continues to surprise me with just his depth of knowledge and just his like, I don't know how to say it. His spirit, like his he is just such a positive guy, such a positive force in the cities and in the music scene here. So it was really an honor to be able to work with him. As far as being in the studio, it was nice because he knows so much about music production. We were both kind of switching back and forth as far as running the session, running the Pro Tools, and I would send him stems and he could send stuff back and sending me different versions of his part, and it was a really fun and seamless collaboration process.
Yeah, that's great. And so you are self-produced, right? And most of these, if not all of them, are
entirely.
Wow, that's great. And when did you start producing then?
I put my first album out at age like 15.
Wow.
It was really bad. But I've been doing it for over a decade, so that was 11 years ago.
Cool. Well, you got to have bad ones before you have good ones.
Right. That's kind of how it works.
A learning curve for sure. Well, in terms of making music in general, when did you start? When did you take an interest in that, I guess, at first?
When me and Benji here started a band back in middle school. Yeah. Dream Hereafter was the name of our first band.
Cool. In middle school.
Yeah, we were really into like metal music and stuff at that point. Metal and anything that would get like the other middle school girls to pay attention to us.
Nice. Yeah. And in terms of like sonic influences in the magazine, you kind of talk about your uncle who introduced you to a lot of stuff.
Shout out to Tim.
Yeah, tell me about your relationship with Tim, your uncle.
Oh, Tim is a very special person to me. Growing up, he would always take us to, he always lived out of town. So when he'd come into town, it was always this fun, big thing.
Cool.
And he'd take us to record stores, and he really shared his love of music with me and shared a lot of the music that like still influences me today. He'd always buy me all these vinyls and stuff and just be like, listen to this, kid. And it's like In Rainbows by Radiohead or,
Yeah. Totally. That's awesome. It's great to have a role model like that, especially a music role model. Yeah,
huge influence.
For sure. In your bio, you're self-described as the love child between Post Malone, Bon Iver, and Frank Ocean. Can you tell me what those three artists mean to you?
Yeah. Basically three of my faves, I guess. I guess that's kind of maybe an aspirational thing to say. Yeah, well. That's what I would like it to sound like in my dream world. But yeah, Bon Iver for sure is my favorite artist of all time. I'm always blown away by the creativity and everything that he does. And his whole squad that's around him. I know he's not doing it on his own, but 22 A Million really was a pretty big paradigm shift as far as how I look at and approach creating music. And I've never really had a album that was that influential to me since. But second would probably be Blonde by Frank Ocean.
Okay, cool. Yeah, that's great. Have you seen any of those artists live?
Yes, I've seen Bon Iver a few times. Never seen Frank, but who has?
Yeah, nobody has. He's a ghost.
Oh, and I saw Post Malone on my bachelor party.
Yeah.
That was pretty fun.
Wow. That's awesome. Great. Awesome. Well, one other thing I wanted to talk to you about is that you are expecting soon. You're going to be a father soon.
Yes, indeed. Shout out to my wife, Juliana, if she's listening to this.
Yeah.
Totally. Love you.
Well, so I can imagine that that's a very emotional process, getting ready to have a child. Has that in some way impacted your artistry in terms of like what you're writing, the emotions in your writing, that kind of stuff?
Yeah. I have been writing some music about it. I think Greyhound is kind of about that, about just becoming a father and thinking through all of those, I don't know, the many crazy things that like you start to think about.
Yeah. Right.
I've been thinking for a while about how, okay, she's going to grow up someday and like listen to my music. And so I feel like I feel a little bit of a more, I guess, responsibility. And I also feel really grateful that I have been honest in my art and in my music, because it's something that I'm excited to share with her. It's not something that I feel embarrassed about. It's not something that I feel like I'm worried for her to hear. I
Right.
think hopefully it would be like a nice way to connect someday.
Totally. Yes. That's awesome. I feel like the garden has maybe some influence of that too. Do you think, would you agree with that? It feels very like family oriented. I feel like you're talking about starting a family. So
Yeah, that's funny. The garden I wrote before I knew I was having a kid.
Really? Wow.
That song is just about my wife.
Oh, okay, cool. Well,
But yeah,
in the
it's
same vein, I guess.
kind of a self-fulfilling prophecy. I don't know if that's
Cool. That's great. Awesome. All right. We'll have, I guess, a couple more questions. One is, do you have any performances coming up that you would like to alert people of?
Oh, that's a great question. I do. I think I have some coming up,
Everyone's
but
pulling out the
nothing
phones.
on the top of my mind.
Okay.
We'll be around. We'll be around the cities. We're trying to play more shows. So, and we've got some stuff kind of in the works.
Great. Yeah. And I know you just released this album, but any upcoming releases that you have? Any singles or anything?
Working on new stuff.
Okay, cool.
This stuff is hopefully going to be coming out on like major streaming platforms this summer
Right.
or fall, depending on how things go. Right now, it's exclusively available on Bandcamp.
Yeah. Awesome. Very cool. Yeah. Not Again. Available on
Not
Bandcamp.
Again.
It's great. All right. One last question for you. Do you guys, are you finding the shows coming up? Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, one more question. This is one that I ask all the artists that come through. I want you to build a dream bill for yourselves, for Jonny Darko to be on, and then
Dream
each
bill.
of you gets one pick to add to this bill. It can fit the vibe of Jonny Darko if you want, or it can just be
Wow.
out of left field.
This is fun.
Yeah.
Bon Iver for me.
Nice.
I'm blank.
Casey Musgraves for him.
Right now it's McGee.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
Dead or alive?
I don't know.
I thought that was the name of a band.
Yeah.
No, I mean, it's a Bon Jovi song, but
Yeah. Let's say alive. Let's say alive.
Lewis Cole.
Oh, nice.
There you have it.
Great pick. Nice. What a bill. And where are we hosting this?
Madison Square Garden,
Very
for
nice.
sure.
All right, great. And Jonny Darko will be headlining. Let's make it happen. Cool. All right. Thank you so much, Jonny.
Thank you for
band.
having us.
Yeah, of course.